Hello YouTube friends. Well, several of you have been asking what I've been up to, so I thought I'd take a little time here on this pretty sunny Sunday afternoon and kind of catch you up a little bit on what's been going on. My last major video, I guess, was at the end of last year. I've made one recently about the depot, but I guess it's time I make one and do a little talking. So I picked my favorite place up in the woods and in an area you'll hear some traffic going by. I'm not too far off of the highway, and you'll hear that traffic, but it's a beautiful area up on the side of a ridge, small ridge here, and you saw in the introduction there the rock that I've perched myself up on, so I'm still up on top of that rock and have a beautiful view of the mountains and the farmland and the valley here in directly to I guess it'd be to my west. And I might tell you a little bit about this area. I see a shadow is falling across my face there from one of the trees up here. The sun's shining in, so I've got squinty eyes, but you'll notice there's a little shadow from the tree falling across my face if you wonder what that is. But anyway, this area that I'm in is called by the local people, the old folks, Soddy Bottoms. And that name comes from back in the pioneer days. There is a creek that comes back in this area called Soddy Creek. I guess the correct way to say it will be Sauta, S-A-U-T-A. And that creek was named Sauta or Soddy because there was an old Cherokee village, one of the first villages in this area that also was settled by white people, and it was called Sauta or Soddy. And this is called North Soddy, the creek that comes back this side of the river. If you go to the river and go to the south side, there's a creek called South Soddy. You may hear a little popping in the microphone here. I don't know how bad it'll be. The wind is blowing toward me from behind the camera and behind the microphone, and I'm hoping it'll be shielded enough that this won't be too crackly and poppy like it does when you get wind in your microphones. So we'll see how it turns out. Anyway, that's where I'm sitting. I'm sitting up here on this big rock, and I'm up about, I guess, 15, maybe 20 feet off the ground, and the ridge is falling away down to the valley, and I can see the highway down there where you can hear that traffic. Been a bunch of motorcycles go by. Pretty afternoon. It's about 65 degrees here, the second day of March here in northeastern Alabama. So it's just a very beautiful day. So a lot of people out around. I've seen some boaters pulling the bass boats going down to the river, and a lot of traffic this time of the day. Folks going home from church, and it just as I started to make this video, a group of about 20 or 30 motorcyclists went by. It's a beautiful area to ride back in here. Anyway, back to what I've been up to. And there's several things, and I won't cover it all in this video, that's happened since the first of the year. Some good, some okay, and some not so good, but nothing real bad. But I guess I'll tell you about the not so good today. Right after the first of the year, I had a little, I guess you could call it a health problem. Didn't turn out to be anything serious, luckily, thankfully. But was going home from work one day and started having all the symptoms of heart problems, chest pains and nausea and all those things that go along with that. So I dropped off at the local emergency room. They thought I was having heart problems, so they put me in intensive care and said I need to go to the next nearby larger hospital for some testing. So I went there and saw a heart specialist, and he also thought I was having some heart problems, so he recommended that I go in for a heart catheterization. And you'll hear some of the motorcycles going by there. There's a group of 4 or 5 going by there. Anyway, he recommended I go in for a heart catheterization where they can look inside your heart and see if there's any problems. They thought I'd had I think they call it a silent heart attack. So I didn't get real excited about it. I'm always optimistic about most everything. So anyway, they did that and went in and thankfully found I had no heart problems. Said my heart was in good condition. But they said we still have to find out what what your problem was. So they did a little more checking, and as far as they could tell, my problem was a low potassium level in my system, which causes all those symptoms. So they gave me some potassium and some medication for it, and it seems to have done the trick. I've had no problem since. But after I stayed in the hospital about 3 days on that, but again, it wasn't anything serious, thankfully. Came back out of the hospital and got home and getting prepared to go to work. And I started coming down with a fever and a cough and a sore throat and all these things. And I don't know about your part of the world, but around here this late winter, we've had a very bad problem of the flu going around, and it's just a very strong type of flu that really just puts you out, makes you feel terrible. It's very difficult to get over, and you have after effects for several weeks. So anyway, I came down with the flu and missed a few days out of work and felt terrible for a while. And you're probably going to hear that wind. It's really picked up here in the last few minutes. It may be popping and crackling. If it's too bad, I may have to remake this one, but we'll see how it turns out. Anyway, I was down with the flu, and it just took me a long time to get where I could even talk very good, and I still got a little cough from it, and it felt terrible there for at least a couple of weeks. So that kind of took me through the month of January. And then up into February, I had caught some kind of stomach virus or stomach problems that really put me back down again. So I felt terrible again there for several days. So I've had some problems, and thankfully I've gotten over all of them, and none of them were major. But that kind of slowed me down from YouTube work. So that's part of what I've been up to. It wasn't any fun. It just took a while to get over that, but I'm doing much better now. Much better. This beautiful weather is going to help everybody in this area get to feeling a whole lot better real soon. We've really had for northeastern Alabama, for the deep south, we've really had a bad winter. It's come in cold. We had a little bit of snow, and had a lot of rain and dreary days. So it's been a rough winter for those folks down here that like sunny, warm weather. And I think I'll wind this video up, and we'll take it and see what it sounds like and see if it's usable. And the next video I want to make is the things I've been doing to my house. If you've watched back over many months ago, you know I've been working on my house, and this winter I finally gotten down and said, well, I'm not going to have time to do all of it myself, so I hired a small team of carpenters, and they have been helping me on the exterior of the house, adding on some of the rooms that I had described before. So I think the next video I'll try to make some video of the front of the house and show you kind of what I've gotten done on the house. With the help of 4 good carpenters, I've moved along pretty good. So anyway, I hope this is usable. If not, you won't ever see it. If it is usable, I guess you'll see it. But anyway, I'll say this is Messabout1 sitting on a big rock on the side of a nice ridge on a warm day in northeastern Alabama. And I'll see you later. Goodbye.